In this video, I'm going to show you step by step how to save everyone during the final mission of Mass Effect 2. We'll be going through everything you need to know about loyalty missions, ship upgrades, mission timing, and squad selection during the suicide mission itself. Keep watching to see it all.
The collectors are about to find out what happens when you piss me off.
What's up, everyone? Big Dan here. Before we begin, I have a bunch of different Mass Effect Trilogy guides and lore videos on my channel, so if you're interested in seeing more, hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, let's dive right in. About 9 months ago, I released my first guide on how to save everyone during the final mission of Mass Effect 2. But since Mass Effect Legendary Edition has just been released, I figured it was a good time to do an updated version to clarify some things that many people seem confused about and correct an error I made regarding the PARAGON route in Zaid's loyalty mission. A mistake which caused about 100 of you to leave a comment on my last video.
That's goddamn suicide.
Yes, you can get Zaid's loyalty as a Paragon if you pass a speech check at the end of the mission. Are you happy now? I've put timestamps in the description and pinned comments so you can skip to a specific section of the video if you'd like. There are several factors involved in determining who lives and who dies during the final mission: squad loyalty, ship upgrades, mission timing, and squad selection during the final mission. Let's start off with squad loyalty. This is the biggest factor determining who makes it through the Omega-4 relay and lives to tell about it. Loyalty is gained by completing each squadmate's personal mission. There are 12 of these missions in total if you include the 2 DLC characters, Zaid and Kasumi. For each companion, you just need to complete the mission and you gain their loyalty, with a few notable exceptions. For Tali's mission, you cannot use evidence of her father's crimes during the treason trial. For Zaid, you must help him take out Vito or pass a Paragon speech check at the end of the mission if you save the factory workers instead. For Samara, you must not let Morinth escape, which means choosing the right dialogue options during the conversation with her at the bar. Basically, just choose the renegade options and you'll be fine. For Thane, you must not lose track of Joram Talid, otherwise Koliat will complete his assassination and escape before you can stop him.
And so the Wheel of Fire mills another soul. Entropy wins. Entropy always wins.
For every other squad mate, simply completing their personal mission is enough to gain their loyalty, regardless of what choices you make during the mission itself. But there are a couple of additional complications when it comes to squad loyalty. 2 different squad mate confrontations will happen during the course of the game, requiring you to either choose a side in the argument or pass a speech check to resolve them. The first is between Jack and Miranda, and the second is between Tali and Legion. Let's start with Jack and Miranda. Once you've completed both of their loyalty missions, Joker will let you know that Jack and Miranda are fighting on Deck 3.
Touch me and I will smear the water with you, bitch!
You either need to pick a side or pass a Renegade or Paragon speech check to squash the beef without choosing a side.
Our mission is too important to let personal feelings get in the way.
The Renegade speech check is much easier to pass here. In OG Mass Effect 2, you only needed about 60% Renegade in order to unlock the Renegade dialogue option, whereas Paragons needed about 80% of the meter in order to unlock the Paragon option. From what I've read online, BioWare made these speech checks easier to pass in Legendary Edition. I have not tested this myself yet, since I'm still playing Mass Effect 1 at the moment, but I'll update the pinned comment on this video if I learn the specific requirements for Legendary Edition. If you are unable to squash the beef with a speech check, then unfortunately, you will need to choose a side in the argument, and you will lose the loyalty of whoever you tell to stand down. If this happens to you, it is possible to regain either Jack or Miranda's loyalty with a post-conversation speech check.
You're tough when you're pissed. Besides, how would you react if I kissed your ass?
I'd call you a pussy and trash your ship when you turned your back. Alright, I'll let it slide. Once.
In OG Mass Effect 2, you needed about 80% of Paragon or Renegade in order to unlock this dialogue option. After the confrontation is over, go pay them a visit and try to win back their loyalty with a silver tongue. You can do this anytime before the final mission. So if you don't have enough points to do it yet, come back later, as long as you do it anytime before you go through the Omega-4 relay. Here's what happens when a Paragon Shepard regains Miranda's loyalty.
I have work to do, Commander. Go chat with your friend Jack if you want small talk.
Miranda, do you really think I wanted to take Jack's side in this? We need her, and we need her happy.
So taking Jack's side was just a front?
Jack needs special attention. You know that. I can at least reason with you.
I understand. You did what you had to keep her loyal. Thanks for clearing that up, Shepard. I should have known you were focused on the mission. Every time I think I've got you figured out.
The second confrontation happens between Tali and Legion after you've completed both of their loyalty missions. Like Jack and Miranda, you can pass a speech check to resolve this conflict without choosing a side. In this case, the Paragon check is easier to pass. But I've got to say, the Renegade speech is one of my favorites in the whole trilogy.
You can either fight at my side or get crushed under my heel. But you will not stand in my way.
Just like with Jack and Miranda, if you lose one of these characters' loyalty in the initial fight, it is possible to regain their loyalty by talking to them afterwards. However, this confrontation happens so late in the game that you may not have enough time to boost your score enough to pass the check. Just something to keep in mind. If you're having trouble passing speech checks in general, then check out my video on how to max out your Paragon score. Link on the screen and in the description. Let's talk briefly about mission timing for the loyalty quest before I proceed. I highly recommend completing all Squadmate loyalty missions before you do the mission to obtain the Reaper IFF. You'll see why later in this video. In addition to squad loyalty, you will also need to complete 3 ship upgrades in order to keep everyone alive. Otherwise, one or more Squadmates will die during the initial push to the collector base. The 3 upgrades you need are Heavy Ship Armor, Thanix Cannon, and Multi-Core Shielding. You can learn about these upgrades from Jacob, Garrus, and Tali, either by speaking with them and choosing Normandy Upgrades dialogue option, or by completing their loyalty missions. You will also need to gather resources to complete these upgrades by playing the planet scanning minigame. You won't need that many resources, so this shouldn't take more than a few minutes to complete.
Probing Uranus.
When you have the minerals, just complete the upgrades in the tech lab on the Normandy, which is the room where Morden hangs out. Once these upgrades are complete, you should be all set. Any additional research or upgrades you decide to complete is just icing on the cake and has no direct impact on the final mission.
Point blank, right down their throat.
Everybody hold on. This is gonna get ugly. Come on, you miserable sons of bitches!
They got Thane.
Time to show our new team. Fire the main gun.
How do you like that, you sons of bitches?
Get in close and finish him off.
Everybody hold on, gonna be a wild ride!
So let's talk about mission timing for the end of the game. There are 2 important mission timers to be aware of. One right after you complete the Reaper IFF mission, and a second one right after the collectors kidnap your crew. Let's start with the first timer. Once you've completed the Reaper IFF mission, an invisible timer starts within the game. EDI will mention that it will take some time to install the Reaper IFF onto the Normandy.
It may take several hours before the IFF is ready for shakedown. I will alert you as soon as it is ready.
Sounds good. Until then, it's business as usual.
After you complete 1 or 2 more missions, this is the perfect time to do Legion's loyalty mission, by the way. You will see a short cutscene of Shepard and crew taking a shuttle while EDI completes the IFF installation. At this point, collectors attack the Normandy and kidnap all the crew. You play as Joker during this short section, which interestingly enough is the only time in the whole trilogy where you directly control someone other than Shepard. Now the game starts a second timer that determines the fate of the kidnapped crew. If you want to save everyone, you cannot complete any additional missions before assaulting the collector base. This is why I recommend you complete every loyalty mission you can before getting the Reaper IFF and Legion. At this point in the story, if you complete even a single mission prior to launching your final attack, then half of the Normandy crew will die, characters like Kelly Chambers and Gabby Daniels. If you complete 3 or more missions, then the entire crew will die in collector hands. But we're not doing that. No one will get left behind in this playthrough, so let's launch the final mission immediately. So we've already covered squad loyalty and ship upgrades. The final factor that determines which characters survive the final mission is your squad selection during various stages of the attack. I'll walk through each stage step by step. But first, let's talk about how to keep disloyal crew members alive during the final push. There is some finesse required to keep disloyal crew members alive, but the basic principle is that you don't want to put them in any important roles during the mission. Don't pick them for any specialist roles, don't send them back with the rescued Normandy crew, don't bring them with you in your final squad. If you've been following the steps in this video, then you should have the loyalty of the vast majority of your crew, if not everyone. So with that in mind, let's start with Phase 1 of the mission. After crash landing on the collector base, Shepard and crew will convene in the Normandy's conference room to plan their attack. The plan is to send one crew member through the base's ventilation system to help open up the base for the rest of the team. Jacob will volunteer for the job.
Practically a suicide mission. I volunteer.
Whatever you do not select Jacob for this role. If you do, he will get shot in the face and die. The best choice for the tech expert is either Tali, Kasumi, or Legion, assuming they are loyal. If you choose anyone else for this role, they will die during this phase of the mission. You will also need to select a squad leader for the diversion team.
This isn't a popularity contest. Lives are at stake. Shepard, you need someone who can command loyalty through experience.
For this role, your best options are Garrus, Jacob, or Miranda. Again, assuming they are loyal. If you choose either the wrong tech specialist or the wrong fire squad leader, then your tech specialist will get shot in the face and die. And that's Phase 1. So let's talk about Phase 2. After you've cleared a path for your tech expert and infiltrated the base, Miranda will discover collector pods with the Normandy's crew. Assuming you started this mission shortly after they were kidnapped, all of them will still be alive here. For this phase of the mission, you will need to choose a few more specialists. First, you need to select a biotics expert to escort your team through the seeker swarms.
I might be able to generate a biotic field to keep them at bay. I won't be able to protect all of us, but I could get a small team through if they stay close.
I could do it too. In theory, any biotic could handle it.
There are only 2 viable options here, Jack or Samara/Morinth. Again, they also must be loyal. If you select any other biotic specialist, Miranda, Thane, or Jacob, or the person you choose is disloyal, then the barrier will fail and one of your current squad mates will die.
Hurry, Shepard!
No!
Fall back!
Second, you need to pick another fire team leader. Just go with one of the same options as before, Miranda, Jacob, or Garrus. You can actually pick the same person to lead both fire teams if you like. I usually pick Garrus both times. Interestingly, Miranda will always survive this part of the mission if she's picked as the second fire team leader, even if she isn't loyal. But for Garrus and Jacob, you need to have their loyalty. Finally, you will need to send someone to escort the rescued crew back to the Normandy. I recommend sending either Mordin or Tali for this one, since they have a slightly higher probability of dying in the final part of the mission. Again, make sure whoever you send is loyal. If you choose to send the crew back on their own, then they die. If you choose a disloyal squad mate to escort them, then the crew lives, but the squad mate dies. If you follow these steps, then everyone will survive this part of the mission. Now we're in the home stretch. The last phase of the mission involves Shepard and 2 crew members heading to the center of the base to plant the explosive charges. The rest of your team will remain behind to cover your escape. The game does some calculations behind the scenes to determine who lives or dies while holding the door against the collectors. Each character has a score based on their combat ability, plus a bonus point if they are loyal. The total average of all characters holding the door must be 2 points or higher in order for everyone to survive. I refer to this as the hold the line calculator. I've put a chart on the screen now showing each character's score. I'll leave it up for a bit in case you want to take a screenshot of it for reference later. For instance, characters like Garrus, Grunt, and Zaid are worth 4 points if they are loyal, and 3 points if they are not. These are much better characters to leave behind to defend the door, whereas characters like Morden, Jack, Kasumi, and Tali are only worth 1 point if they are loyal, and 0 if they are disloyal. Again, the total average of all characters left to hold the door, which should be 9 characters if everyone survives so far, must be 2 points or greater. If it is, then everyone will survive. For your team, it doesn't matter who you bring with you, so long as they are loyal. If you bring a disloyal squad mate, then they will die in this final part of the mission. And that's pretty much it. If you've followed all of the steps in this video, then your entire crew will survive the final mission of Mass Effect 2. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, and I'll do my best to get back to you. If you liked this video, be sure to subscribe to Big Dan Gaming for more Mass Effect and RPG videos. Until next time, this has been Big Dan. I should go.